Well, welcome back to another episode of Breaking Command, a DND football podcast. Of course, you got your man, Darian D.H. Williams, DH on the mic on X, and my partner in crime, my main apple scrapper, my brother from another, Darren Midget, D. Mitty. What's up, bro?
Feeling good, feeling great. King, how you been feeling today, man?
Hey, man, I'm wonderful, man. Listen, man, the numbers are going wild on the internet. You can check out the last episode. We had Rambler with Rio's host, Rio Robinson, on the episode. It was a great time. That's doing numbers. So make sure you go to youtube.com/Breaking Command Pod, subscribe, like, do all that stuff, and check it out. Oh, and also, if you feel so inclined to leave us a 5-star review, you can get your 5 seconds of fame. That's it. That's all. So, D-Mitty, going with the trend of keeping up with the Joneses, trying to make sure we have the up-to-date information from media members, from alumni, to guys in the mix. I said, man, I got to go get somebody that's on the ground floor. I got to get somebody that's on the sidelines. I got to get somebody that's the leader of the new school. The youngest
heavy hitter.
Hold on, I'm not done. I got so many accolades. Let me get my scroll. Hold on a second. Host of Overtime. Okay, and the Burgundy Gold podcast, Burgundy Gold post game on 106.7 The Fan. Host the anchor on Infinity Sports Network. That's on Sirius XM. I listen to all the time, by the way. Contributor on DC News Now. I'm guaranteeing if you flip through your TV, you will probably see this gentleman who is the youngest in charge. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to bring to you right now, Mr. Lynnell Willingham. Lynnell, what's up?
What's going on, guys? Appreciate y'all having me, man. What a damn introduction. How do I lead up to that? How do I live up to it?
Hey, man, you do it all the time. Every time you get on the air, bro, you representing, you know what I'm saying, and you bring in the heat, you know what I'm saying. So we just had to get that back to you, you know what I'm saying.
For sure, I appreciate the love, guys, and definitely down to do it anytime.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, Lynnell, man, we know your time is limited, so we're gonna get right to it, man. Today, Monday, August the 19th. This episode will be available tomorrow. Today, Monday, August 19th, Jayden Daniels has been named QB1 for your Washington Commanders. Lynnell, give me your initial thoughts after hearing the announcement. I mean, I feel like we all knew it was going to happen. But hearing the announcement today by Dan Quinn, what did you think, Lynnell?
It's about damn time, right? That's the number one thing I could probably say about it. It feels like, this is something that's been long overdue with this team. I feel like I'm catching a lot of heat on social media about how positive I've been about this young man. He's carried himself in the most professional manner since the first day I've got to see him, which was out at mandatory minicamp. And I'll be honest with you I got an interesting Jayden Daniels story that I haven't probably even told on the air yet in terms of my initial thoughts of him. I go out there for mandatory minicamp. It was the first time I get to be out there. I didn't get to see OTAs. I didn't get to see the rookie minicamp. And I'm looking at this kid. I'm like, is he even trying to throw the football? Like, one thing I would say about younger cats in my generation era, and y'all could probably speak to this because y'all probably talk about us like this. There's this cool factor that a lot of people have playing sports, right? You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Like people, even at basketball, you see it a lot. Football guys just being to a point where, are they happy that they're here, or is it are they just happy to put the jersey on rather? And there's this cool, calm California demeanor that this kid has about himself. And at first, I mistaked it for, I don't want to say weakness, but I kind of slighted him a little bit at first. And I didn't say this publicly on the air at all. I just was going off of what I saw just from him at practice. Like, did he have the sense of urgency in that acumen, so to speak, to be a successful pro? And once we got out there for training camp, it's just been a different animal in terms of the ball placement, the accuracy, getting it out on time. He has been as advertised at the quarterback position. And I know some folks that listen to me regularly are going to say, well, you like Sam Howell and you were high on Carson Wentz. I understand that we locally have a fandom to this. That's all a part of it, right? I always say that. But I look at Jayden Daniels objectively and realize, you know what? It's only 2 preseason games. It hadn't been perfect by any stretch of the imagination. Dan Quinn today in his presser called out a scenario in which he missed a check during the Miami Dolphins practice. So it's not to say he's been perfect, but I feel as if he has got the right mental makeup and the right DNA and mental fabric about him to end up being really successful. And when I say that, guys, I'm not talking about some Derek Carr middle-of-the-road quarterback. I think if they can do a good enough job surrounding him with the adequate weapons. That means up front. That means on the perimeter at the skill position spots, and then having balance with their play calling, which I think we're kind of seeing they're going to have this year. He's got a chance right away, I think, fellas, to be a top 10 to 12 quarterback in this league. Some guys just got it, and I think he's a nerd for the game, but the way he carries himself, it wouldn't be the way you describe a nerd, right? He's trash talking his teammates on the sideline. I'm privy to a lot of different convos that maybe the fans aren't because I'm standing right on the sideline. So I overhear stuff. He's a dude, the best way I could put it, if that makes sense between the three of us. He's just a regular dude, bro.
Yeah.
So that gives me all the confidence in the world. It's different, you know, when we talk about this kid compared to Dwayne Haskins, God rest his soul, and Robert Griffin III. A lot of what we loved about them and what we were enamored about with them had a lot to do with physical attributes. With Robert, it was his ability to push the ball downfield and then the dynamic playmaking. With Dwayne, Urban Meyer described him as the best 7-on-7 quarterback he'd ever seen in his life. With Jayden, the number one thing people say right off the rip is they talk about the person he is and they talk about how hard of a worker he is. And I think through anything in life, whether you're a plumber, a salesman, a podcast host, whatever, I'm a big believer. I'm a God-fearing man. I always said I'm not, you know, shy about that with my faith, man. I'm a dude that feels like you get out what you put in, so to speak, right? And I think he's a walking testament to that. And I think because of the hard work that he's putting in, you hear 5:45 at the facility every morning. We're starting to see him reap the benefits of the hard work he's putting in. And it makes me smile because as a 26-year-old fan, I was looking at Kirk Cousins like white Jesus. I was looking at Robert Griffin III like he was, you know, the second coming. But just to have a guy that I really feel like we can be confident in from an on-field standpoint and in the personality and the character. DMV is a crazy place. My aunts, my uncles always tell me about what this team was like when they were really good and when things were jamming. I'm telling y'all out there, we are closer than we have ever been to this thing really popping off. And it's all because of this young man, I feel like.
And Lynnell, we're your uncles too, man. We can tell you about some of them stories.
For sure.
But,
For sure.
but listen, Lynnell, we've heard everything that you've been saying right here on Nail_BTP on X. Make sure you give him a follow. But Lynnell, man, that's kind of been the narrative around Jayden Daniels, right? Is that he's just cool. He's not too high. He's not too low. He's a worker. He makes the right decisions. He has that swag. Even after that first drive when he made that first check against the Jets, running down the field with the smile and the wink. Like, who does this? This is the first time going against live action, and you're just out here. And like, I think that's been the swag and his whole demeanor. And I think, like you said, man, we might have a superstar on our hands.
I truly do agree with that, guys. And this is from, I mentioned what I first thought about him. At first, and it's the one thing, like, they were so high on the personality and so high on the work ethic. It makes you think naturally, is he lacking some of the physical skills? And that's why they're not hyping that up.
Yeah.
But not at all. He was throwing it so effortlessly in minicamp that I mistaked it for him being lackadaisical. I mistaked it for, and luckily I didn't tweet that because y'all know I would have got crushed for it. But it was like, damn, man, this kid, can I say damn on here, man?
Say damn, go ahead.
I was like, damn, this kid, you know, he just got it, man. And watching him in training camp, I always say, I'm a man first when I do this, and I'm a fan first when I do this, right? And it's not just around, I'm just catchy like that. But I take, you know, real heed to what I say when I speak that. As a fan, I understand it's easy to be like a scoring lover, right? You in a relationship with your shawty or your man, she's constantly cheating on you, and you're feeling like, damn, is this next girl or man going to be the one? That's how Washington fans are relative to the quarterback position. And I feel like I'm telling you, good breath, good hair. The kid got it, man. And I don't want to gas it up by any stretch of the imagination because it's only 2 preseason games. And I saw this on Twitter today. It was from somebody from The Ringer, I believe, Stephen Ruiz, I believe, talking about, you know, how vanilla it's been for him and how it's the time to throw has been really quick, been amongst the fastest in the NFL. I don't give a damn. Right. He's doing what he is asked to do, and he has passed every test that this coaching staff has given him with flying colors. And there's a reason I named him the starter today. When you are a team and a coaching staff and an organization that's trying to instill a culture of what you want to be for the next 4, 5, 6 years or however long the tenure lasts, for the game's most important position, right, quarterback, with Jayden Daniels embodying all those traits from the work ethic to just how he carries himself on a day-in, day-out basis it's perfect. And I love what DQ said today. We're asking him to go out and be the best quarterback every day possible. They don't even want him to be a leader. But if you watch him, we already heard the reports of him correcting running backs. Dan Quinn told a story to him about you don't need to correct Terry McLaurin. You know why I said you don't need to? Because he did. But Terry's the type of pro that respects what's in the building, that hasn't had this before. So he's embracing it. Everyone was geeked up over the Scott Van Pelt Sports Center thing. And I pay close attention to all the media availabilities that these guys do. Because if you watch Terry and if you listen to Terry, he a lot of the times, and I think my brother John Kime said this, and Kime does a damn good job. I've been reading him for years. Kime said it, and I think it hits it right on the head. Terry, a lot of the times at the podium, post-game, after practice, is the barometer for how this team is feeling. He's just a real SOB, is how I would put it, bro. He's going to tell it how a TI is every time, whether it's good, whether it's bad. We've heard him be brutally honest, over the past couple of seasons about his displeasure about the way things have been going offensively. Last year, it was the cardio comments after the Miami game. So even seeing Terry and how Terry is receiving and embracing this guy, it's been impressive to watch. And I warn fans, and I'm really talking to the older group, my OGs, my unks, my aunties, all that. Embrace this kid. He's made up of all the right stuff. And we haven't seen that first major test. I think we as the media have seen it based on the way he played in the practice and the way the practice went, how he got better as the practice went against the Jets. And I was out there for that, boots on the ground. You started to see, okay, he's a guy that when he throws a touchdown, it ain't going to be ridiculously high. But when he throws a pick, it ain't going to be ridiculously low. He's got that California cool about him. Y'all know, but y'all love Doc Walker. It feels like Doc Walker from the DMV. But
Right.
Doc Walker got that California cool about him, too, if you really talk and listen to Doc, man. So it's the same type of thing. And I think I'm a big people person, right? I got the chance to play college football, albeit at the Division III level, but I've been in locker rooms before.
Play more than
that
me.
Dynamic, it is what it is. Look, I put my knee up on it. My knee had been opened up several times, man. If I can see that, I really didn't. I put in my war wounds, but the dynamic in a locker room, I think, is so pivotal to the success of a football team. And I think from the former players that they've got on staff to just having new voices, right? And I'm not saying guys like Cam Curl or Logan Thomas or any of that were bad dudes. Well, I've been pretty vocal about my displeasure for Logan. Logan's a rat. And I said that several times. He was – I don't even want to get into that. But they got the right dudes in the locker room, it feels like. And I think that's going to go a long way and really make everyone want to put in that extra to be their best.
Absolutely. D-Mitty, what you got?
Man, I ain't going to lie, man. Oh, well, I just really want to, first of all, let me just thank you, Lynnell. I appreciate you, man. I've been loving listening to you just kick your talk, man, because everything you saying, man, the stuff I've been needing to hear and been wanting to hear when it comes to this team, man.
Sure.
And to be me personally, I only listen to that have been in the trenches or they're close to they're close to the game, they're boots on the ground type of guys. And I really appreciate everything that you. Oh man, I think I lost connection. My back. I'm sorry.
No, you good, brother. I hear you. I hear you still.
Okay, but all that being said, it sounds like to me Jayden is going to be the catapult for this franchise. Put in the position as far as this offense, as far as the guys, just uplifting the spirit of the team. It feels like everything I need to hear. And with all that being said, do you feel like
he was saying, is there one thing I feel like he's missing?
Yeah, is it one piece that you feel like he's missing in order to help his game grow, even at this stage?
Y'all gonna see, you can't ask me questions like this because y'all call me a homer. Y'all say, "Oh, there's youngest in charge," all that.
No.
Brothers,
you
look,
are on this show, bro. Speak your mind, bro.
right hand to the Bible. It hadn't been perfect, right? Dan Quinn called out a play today during the Jet joint practices or the Miami joint practices where he didn't pick up a protection. Y'all saw the deep ball that he flipped out to Terry on that third down where he got pressured. Breaking it down, he probably should have went to the running back in the flat. His eyes pre-snap maybe weren't in the right place. Outside of that, no. And those are like bigger things. And when I say bigger, relative to playing the position, and it's things that you get better with experience. And I think Dan Quinn, that's why I love him at the presser. It's not like Ron Rivera who was out there just talking. Dan is really giving you insight, and maybe it's too much insight, but Dan pointed out today in his press conference the situation, that third down that I was talking about how maybe, if he identifies the pressure different at the line of scrimmage, he's got the running back in the flat for a big play because they're sending two off of the right edge. And it looked like, I don't know if Jayden thought they were bluffing it or whatever, but he went to Terry hot. It wasn't the right hot read, but he got the football out of his hands. You got yourself in a field goal situation, and it wasn't a negative play. I think as he continues to get better and learn and see different defenses, you're going to see him get better based off of experience, man. Quarterback, I always say, it is the most difficult position in professional sports, and it's a trial by error position. The thing where I think he's already ahead at is what a lot of folks in the dummies, I'm going to stay straight up, in the media were saying, oh, he played 5 years in college. I like that. I like that he's seen 5 years of college defense. I like that he's seen 5 years of protections, learning different schemes, 3 different schemes during that time as well. So, like, that's or 2 different schemes, rather. And that's just really impressive to me. And I think that's a big reason why in a Cliff Kingsbury offense that I will admit is player friendly in terms of digesting the playbook and the play calls and things like that. It's an easier offense, but he's handled it with flying colors. And like I continue to say, he's passed every test that they've given him to this point. I personally want to see him play in that third preseason game. I think against a New England defense that's also known to show pressure and different exotic type of look, it'll be good. And it's a Sunday night game. They got a Monday night game, week 3 against Cincinnati. So to get to see him go through that preparation process of a night game, I think is cool. Don't be surprised if you see him play in that night game.
I think it's important that this stage of his career for him to play as much as possible without risking anything. Granted, he's been named the starter, but he's only had a few drives. So we want to see him do a little bit more, build on top of that, because week 1 against Tampa is live, points count. Everything is you got to be ready to rock and roll. So I think he'll be prepared. And like you said, that Cali crew that he has, and I think that'll be able to translate well to this team. I think it fits well with Cliff Kingsbury, with that kind of that West Coast type feel. Like everything is cool. Like we're not going to get too high, get too low. We kind of just going to let everything play out. I think that's awesome, and that's a vast difference than what we've had at the top, right? At the quarterback and coach position, we've had something different. Like you said with Ron Rivera with his pressers. Like you said, it felt like Ron was just talking sometimes, or it felt like your captain, Logan Thomas, like you said, was being a rat, leaking some things, saying some things. And trust me, we'll have you back for that for another time because I want to get into that. But yeah, but like, it's kind of been contrite all throughout the top from Adam Peters to Dan Quinn to new ownership to everything. It's kind of been contrite throughout the whole process, and I think it's a good it translates well to the quarterback 1 position to Jayden Daniels. I want to remind you locked in with my guy Lynnell Willingham. Follow him on X, Nell_BTP. Of course, the youngest in charge, leading the movement. Lynnell, man, one last thing on Jayden, man. This whole Cali feel, this Cali vibe, they had it kind of contrite and all together from top to bottom. Do you think that bodes well for him going forward as the leader of this new regime?
Yeah, I think, and Dan has been, like I said, he's getting up to the podium, and there's actually things worth writing down. And he's such a real dude and such an authentic person that he can't help but to be real and authentic at the podium. He's talked about it, and they've mentioned it at several different times throughout the offseason. It's a weird game of chicken being played within the national media and the local media. Because if you remember, even back in May and April during the OTAs, the mandatory minicamp, right after he was drafted, you were already hearing it was the Jeremy Fowler report from ESPN that Jayden Daniels, according to people across the league, they think he's going to be able to hit the ground running and really, take Washington by storm. Yeah. So what I always tell people when I'm learning about the media not being a part of it, a lot of times what the national media is leaking is what's coming from directly out of that building. That's the narrative they want to have painted. That's how they want to be publicly perceived and all of that. And they were telling you through the national media, they're like, hey, it's early, but this mofo, hey, Shawty he's like that. You know what I'm saying? And was so, like, it gives me peace as a fan. Like, honestly, it's worth seeing everything they're saying being backed up in real time. And I know it's 2 preseason games. And I know it's 12 pass attempts. But the main thing has been the main thing with him. I tweeted it out on Saturday during the game. The best way I can put it, and this is for analyzing quarterbacks one-on-one, he's playing the hell out of the quarterback position.
Yeah,
he's getting them into the right play. He's getting the ball out on time with accuracy, on target, giving guys run after the catch ability. It's everything you want to see from this kid. And I understand. I go back to the scoring lover analogy, right? Like, we've seen this before. I think the graphic just came out. Basically, I'm going to say a lot of damn different starting quarterbacks for Washington since 1997, right around when I was born, which is so crazy about all of it. Y'all fell in love with Heath Schuler. Y'all fell in love with Patrick. You know what I'm saying? We like thoughts out here, man. Look, we fall off anything, man. Look, so, like, I understand why there's a hesitancy towards really trying to lean into this cat, because we've been here before. It's history, man. It is what it is. You can't deny it. I always take pride in wanting to learn and understand what happened when I wasn't born and when I couldn't comprehend the game the way I do now. So I get the narrative. Like I said, I was a freshman in high school during the Robert Griffin III year. I never forget coming in the cafeteria Monday morning after he tore his ACL, and it was just getting chastised, bro. Nobody wants to sit next to you. I'll tell you a funny story. I went out this weekend to a place around my area in Gaithersburg, and I had a fan gift me a Jayden Daniels jersey, so I wore it out for the first time. You know, Bam was laughing at me.
Oh, word?
Unprompted, just doing that joint, because there's no faith, there's no confidence in what this program has been over the span of my lifetime when it comes to consistency and being a perennial contender. So I think it's going to be an interesting season. It's going to be a roller coaster ride, because I think people are scared to lean into him right now. That's my vibe that I get. It's like, we're like, it's good, but it's too good to be true almost. And people are waiting for him to fall. I'm telling you, you're going to turn blue in the face when he falls. The kid's got, even when he does do bad, I think he's got the right demeanor. That's the Cali cool, man. I don't know if people listen to Nipsey Hussle speak when he used to speak, man. That's that Cali big boy who does radio out in Big Boy TV. They just got a cool, calm demeanor about them. And I don't want to, Cali people probably going to start getting gassed up. But like, that's y'all reputation, man. Y'all cool as the other side of the pillow, bro.
He get active, though. Like,
for sure.
For sure.
It's never nice. It's not nothing sweet with him, but they have a killer instinct, man. I think Jayden has it relative to football, man. That's why he talks trash the way he does, and why he's the uber competitor that he is. Because at the end of the day, though, he's a kid living out his dream, man. I think at any time y'all watch him play, and you see the joy that he plays with, think about yourself. Think about if you made it.
Yeah,
you'd be acting just like his ass. That's how I put it, man. Because people are gonna get annoyed with the smiling and all that. I know how that goes. People want to look for stuff to turn on a guy about, but that's going to be who he is, I think, through the good and the bad.
And you know what? And through the good and the bad, you still bringing the good content. Listen, man, I ain't going to keep you long tonight, man. D-Mitty had to get out of here, connection jacking up, but that's fine. Jayden Daniels, that's what the main thing is right now, so that's all we going to keep it at. And Lynnell, before we get out of here, man, I want you to take your victory lap. Speaking of Nipsey, take your victory lap. Tell everybody where they can find you, where they can hear you, and where you'll be next and reporting throughout this season, man.
You can follow me. It's on all social media platforms. NELL_BTP. Catch my writing for MontgomeryCommunityMedia.com. You can catch my training camp coverage to them as well. And then every post game throughout the regular season on 106.7 The Fan, Team 980. Haven't fully solidified our game day plan, so you may hear me more than that as well. So just keep supporting it. I appreciate all of y'all out there, man, for sure. Our training camp is the most humbling thing for me, DH. I'm signing autographs. You were laughing about it, but that's the love people showing, man. And that's anybody out there that's young and trying to get it, man. You get the old heads to shut up by working hard. That's all it is, man. You gotta work hard at it.
Bro, that's it. You keep grinding, man, and your work shines through, brother. D-Mitty, before we let Lynnell go, man, what you
got? First, thank you, Lynnell, for sticking with me through all my trials and tribulations over here on my end, man.
I'm surprised it wasn't me going through.
I'm a shoot. Nah, bro, it's me, man. I'm at a different location because I'm not going to continue to use this location. I don't know what it is, but needless to say, brother, I appreciate you, man. I always followed you, since you've been doing your thing as a producer on 980, and I hope that next time when we get a chance to rap, that we can go into this thing further about this burgundy and gold, man.
For sure, man. For sure. I appreciate you having me.
Yes, sir. And with that, we're going to end this episode. Of course, make sure you follow us on X, Breaking Command Pod. Make sure you follow our guest, Mr. Lynnell Willingham, 1067 The Fan at Nell_BTP. And make sure you like, subscribe, and share with a friend right here on youtube.com/Breaking Command Pod. We back with another episode of Breaking Command, a D&D football podcast. Peace and love.